Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We are the West Tennessee STEM Hub, and we have some special masters today to talk with us about virtual world and transitioning into virtual classrooms and online tutoring. So to start off, I'm Katie Bowman, and Sharon Moore is the other presenter. And today we have with us Stephen Matthews, Thais Cruz, and Julia Bird. And to go ahead and kick off, we have for the first question is go ahead and introduce yourself. What is your major? And share what inspired you to pursue your STEM degree. Let's go ahead and have Stefan start us out.
Okay, well, I'm Stefan, obviously. My major is geology at the University of Memphis, and inspired me. I guess my desire to find an excuse to be outside as often as possible.
Awesome. Thais, you want to go next?
Sure. So I'm Thais. I'm a biomedical engineering major at the University of Memphis, and I want to go into medicine. So I wanted to pick something that would set me up in the right place for medicine, and biomedical engineering just seemed to fit everything. And also, I want to be able to help people, and I know through biomedical engineering and medicine, I can reach people and help as many as I can. So that's kind of what inspired me to choose this major.
Awesome. And Julia?
Hi, everyone. I'm Julia Bird. So I'm also a biomedical engineering major, and I actually did not go into college thinking that's what I wanted to do. I was initially a biology major, but then I talked to someone who said that the engineering college could offer me more money, and I said, oh, I like scholarships. So I went ahead and decided to do biomedical engineering. And honestly, I think that it was a blessing in disguise because through getting an engineering degree, I'm about to be a senior. It has given me the opportunity to build all kinds of critical thinking skills. And additionally, I think I've just learned really invaluable lessons being an engineering major. So very grateful.
Awesome. And then Sharon, do you want to introduce yourself and go into the next question?
Hi, I'm Sharon. I'm a junior civil engineering major. I chose my major because I love hands-on work, collaborating with others, and just seemed like a really good fit, and I like it so far, so it's good. As for the next question, we would like our ambassadors to describe what the transition from regular to online learning has been like for them during the pandemic. So how did your daily routine change, and kind of touch on that? Do you want to start, Katie?
Sure. My daily routine changed having to find a place in my home where I can designate a study room. So I keep my studies outside of the bedroom to only focus outside and keep that as a peaceful place. And then I also started going on a lot more walks. So my dog is probably really annoyed with me at this point, but at least she's healthy.
All right, Julia.
All right. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so for me, the biggest change was going from seeing my friends pretty much every other day and getting to walk around on campus to being at home and kind of having to figure out how to interact with them there. But I will say Netflix Party has changed my life. So if you're having issues staying connected, I definitely recommend setting up Zoom meetings with your friends, doing Netflix Party, and things like that.
Thank you. That was really good. Thais, let's go to you next.
So for me, the hardest transition was being at home 24/7 and not being able to leave. I enjoy being around people. I enjoy being able to collaborate with my classmates, study with them in the libraries, and just help each other out. So for me, the hardest thing was finding a way to finding a routine that would allow me to be motivated enough to wake up at the right time and do my work at the right time and not slack off and get distracted very easily. So my routine has changed drastically because obviously, like, I can't go to school anymore. So that's pretty much the biggest change I've had to make is figuring out what works best for me in order to stay on track with my studies from home.
Thank you. All right, Stefan, your turn.
So, for whatever reason, working from home, my daily schedule always seems to be really. I work for a large part of the day, making sure to make time for my classes, and then it's important for me to try to find a time to log off at the same time every day, because otherwise I would just get burnt out.
All right, great. I'll give my two-piece and then I'll let Katie ask the next question. So for me, transitioning to online wasn't new. I've taken online classes before. What was hard was all the time management. Instead of getting up and ready for a physical class at 8 o'clock in the morning, I was able to sleep in till as long as I wanted. So time management became a lot more difficult for me and just a big change. My routine, I've decided that, you know, I set a time to get up and I make sure I put in a hobby that I like, whether it's gardening in my backyard or just listening to music for like 30 minutes. Taking a break is a big help. It's hard to focus nonstop all day long, especially when your classes are getting hard. So definitely finding an outlet just to take a break from the studies is important and healthy. All right, Katie.
Sure. Next question for the masters is, has it been difficult for you to remain motivated to focus on school? And what strategies have you developed to remain focused on learning? So I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Thais and answer.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I really enjoy working at school with my classmates. So it's been a lot harder for me to stay motivated to study. Again, sitting at my desk the entire day, working, looking at my computer has been hard. But I found this technique. I don't know the name of it, but you do your work for 45 minutes and then you set a timer, and at the end of those 45 minutes you take like a 5-minute break, and that's all you need to recharge your brain and allow it to be at the same level of productivity that it was at the beginning of those 45 minutes, because the longer you work, the less productive you become. And so that has worked a lot for me. So I kind of swear by that rule now. I always study 45 minutes, take a 5-minute break. Like Sharon said, I also make sure I do some things enjoyable during the day. So I take my dogs on a lot of walks too, like Katie. Make sure that I eat, because sometimes in the middle of doing everything, I may like forget to eat. So I just need to make sure that I, eat my meals and stay focused.
I have the opposite problem where I just eat too much. I'll pass it off to Julia.
All right, so I will say that what Thais just said, that is really the key right there, is just making sure you do give yourself a break, because just because you're used to going to school for, say, 8 hours at a time, doesn't mean that exactly works the same at home. Think about at school, you're in a class for 45 minutes to an hour, and then you get to take your 5-minute break and go to your next class, talk to your friends. So you need to treat staying at home and doing your work there kind of the same way. You need to give yourself those mental breaks and allow yourself to take breaks too, because it's very easy to be too hard on yourself and to feel like you're not doing enough because you're just not used to what you're doing. So yeah, definitely make sure to take those snack breaks, walk around, take a lap around your, kitchen table, something. But yeah, so that's my advice as well.
Stephanie, you want to take it away?
Sure. As far as staying focused during the day, I have the same problem that you have, personally, which is that if I'm not paying attention to what it is that if I'm not like focusing on what it is that I'm doing, I can just absentmindedly be eating. And then by the end of my studies, my stomach can just be really hurt. And then I'm both mad at myself for eating too much, and I'm like mad that my stomach hurts at the end of my study session. And I don't know, just I kind of make a schedule for myself during the day, and like 5 days out of the week, I'll follow that, and then I kind of give myself a lot more leeway on the weekend. Giving myself that schedule that I try to force myself to stick to has been really helpful. I didn't realize that I was like a personal schedule guy.
I've woken up with quite a few tummy aches, so I understand. Sharon, you want to go ahead?
All right, so staying motivated can definitely be hard. I love to eat, so I have eating all the time, and when you eat so much, it just makes you tired. So I have forced myself to really stick to just the breakfast, lunch, dinner kind of schedule, and I try to keep snacking to a minimum these days. But I will say what keeps me motivated the most are my classmates. We have, throughout all of our different classes, we kind of found a few of us who will create a Skype meeting and we'll just do the homework together, even if we know how to do it on our own, just to keep us responsible and active and make sure we're actually learning the material. Because that, I think that's kind of the hardest part for us, making sure we're actually learning the material. It's so easy for students to go the easy way out when everything's done online or from home. So keeping yourself on track is really important, and having a support group like your friends can be very helpful. I've also made sure to exercise every day, even if it's 5 minutes one day or maybe almost an hour another day. It keeps you mentally focused, I think, and it definitely helps you in the long run. So that is my take on it. The next question we have for our ambassadors. What have you learned about yourself during this situation with online learning? So I will let Stefan go first, if that's okay.
So I sort of learned that I'm like a get into the groove kind of person, and that I have a really hard time getting myself out of a work mindset if I don't actively stop doing my work. And oftentimes that can be like really stressful. I'm not, making time to actually sit back and not do work. Like maybe I'm still in the same headspace that I was in when I was doing my schoolwork or whatever it was that I was doing earlier in the day. I can still kind of feel really stressed, or like a random email from the university can feel extremely urgent because I'm still in that mode where it's like I need to get stuff done. And kind of learning how to manage that, because I didn't realize that was really a problem I had.
Sounds great, thanks. Okay, Julia.
Okay, everybody. So I would describe myself as a moth. You have your social butterflies and then you have your introverts. And I think a lot of people see me as a social butterfly, but in my head, I was always like, well, I do like my alone time, and, I do want to do stuff by myself. But I think throughout this whole situation, I didn't realize how much I actually did socialize, and I didn't know the value of all those everyday little conversations that I was having. So I think coming out of this, I will make a bigger effort to get my friends together, to really have those gatherings and really appreciate those moments.
understand that completely. All right, Thais.
Like Julia said, I have learned that I really enjoy being able to see my friends and, have those small breaks where we can get a cup of coffee in between classes. I definitely miss that a lot. I've also learned kind of what works for me studying. I obviously, I have a study routine that I do while in normal classes, but I have found better ways to study for certain classes while in quarantine. And it may have to do with the fact that learning materials are different. So now, instead of being present in a lecture where professors are talking to me, they post videos. And so for me, it's really helpful to be able to go back and rewatch those videos and catch things that I might have not caught the first time. I also look at PowerPoints a lot more now. And honestly, before this, I never really looked at my professor's PowerPoints. I just really looked at the book and the lectures. But I've learned that PowerPoints are extremely helpful. So I've just kind of learned new study techniques as well.
Thank you. So we have Diana Dalton here with us. She just joined us. If you would, I know you're having a little bit of video problems, but just introduce yourself, your major, and what inspired you to go into your major. Okay, so she must still be having technical difficulties. If you would like, Katie, did I get to everyone? Yeah. So Katie, if you'd like to answer the question and then get on to the next.
Oh, I found out about myself is I need to reach out to people during this time and know it's okay to ask for help because I'm the person that will just figure it out by myself, and sometimes that's not the best solution. So thank you to all the masters that helped me out during this hard time, and make sure you reach out to people as your teachers or us to let us know that you need help as well, because it's okay to ask for help. The next question is, what are your plans for the future as for career goals? I'll go ahead and let Julia take that one first.
So my future career goals, the reason that I initially wanted to do biology was because I do want to go to medical school. But again, biomedical engineering has been an amazing, amazing career path to get there. But yeah, so in the future, I plan to be a doctor, hopefully an ER doctor. And I also plan on interpreting and translating. I want that to be a big part of my job. So no matter where I fall, I want to make sure I support those in my community.
Awesome. What about you, Thais?
So like Julia, I also want to go to medical school, and I've always been pretty set on medical school and that being the path for me, specifically pediatric oncology, because here in Memphis we have St. Jude, the heart of our city. It's the best cancer research facility. So I've always been pretty set on that. But the further I get into biomedical engineering, the more I gain an open mind about my future because, I'm currently doing research and I really enjoy the research that I'm doing. So right now I have an open mind. If medical school is where I end up, I would love that. But if I decide that I want to stick with biomedical engineering and maybe pursue some sort of research, that would also be great. But nothing specific besides that.
That's still awesome, though. What about you, Stefan?
So I start my master's in geology next semester, and I would really like to do survey work, and which is basically like working with somebody who's buying land, maybe a company, and enforcing EPA regulations, making sure that the land is safe for people to do whatever it is that they need to do with it before it ever exchanges hands. Oftentimes, survey work can be like looking over an area before somebody decides to put a building there. So in certain ways, I can be a part of making sure that buildings get put up safely without having to actually be a part of building the building, which is pretty exciting for me. But playing in the dirt is basically what I've always wanted to do. So hopefully that.
It's a very important job. What about you, Sharon?
Oh, for me, so I'm civil engineering, and with civil engineering, there are many disciplines. You could go construction or environmental or structural. My plan is to go general. I want to keep my options open, and I really want to explore everything the career has to offer. Yeah, so I've been interested in site planning and development, but I've also thought about project management as well. So really, I just want to dip my toes into the work field and figure out what really caters to the type of person and worker I am before I really make too big of a decision, I think. Yeah, so keeping my options. Do you want me to dive into the next question?
Is it okay if I jump in real quick?
Oh, yes, Diana, we can. Oh, wait. Oh, that's Julia. Never mind.
Yeah. So, after listening to everyone, I think what's really important to point out is that a lot of us still don't really know what we're doing, and that's okay. I mean, that's a part of being an adult and figuring yourself out. Not everyone knows what they want to do, even in college. You're going to get your degree and you're going to have a world of opportunities open to you, and you'll be very surprised where you end up.
Thank you for that. That's perfect. So our next question was actually going to be a Q&A with the students, but they are not in our chat today. So I guess we can move on to one piece of advice you would give them as they think about how they finish out the school year and maybe continue into the fall with everything kind of still up in the air. So, we don't know if classes are going to be back in the schools or if they're going to continue the online learning. So just some advice for them. You want to start, Julia?
Sure. So my biggest piece of advice is to just be adaptable. I mean, be open to what's happening, because no one's ready for it. And I know it may feel like people seem like they are, but it's not true. None of us expected this big pandemic to come along. No one's really seen it in their lifetime. And, I know a lot of us, or a lot of you, are in high school. So thinking about the upcoming year, you're scared about it being harder. You're scared about it being online. But just know that people are there to support you and that everyone's going through this together.
That was awesome. Stefan.
So I guess my biggest piece of advice would be to, as stressful as the entire situation is, try not to be your own stressor. Because this is a situation that absolutely nobody could have predicted happening. Like Julia said, nobody is necessarily prepared for this. So, don't think that you're doing any worse than any other person around you because it's their first time doing this too. So, I mean, it's okay if you don't know how to handle it because there are other people who are also trying to figure that out, and plenty of opportunities and people who will help you.
Fantastic. All right, Thais.
My biggest piece of advice would also have to be not to worry about what's to come, because it is a very stressful time, and I understand being worried about not knowing what the school year is going to look like or being worried about being behind. But like Julia and Stefan both said, everybody is in the same exact position. So no one's further behind than anybody else. Everybody's going to be starting school year level at the school year at the same exact level. And, you know, schools are anticipating that they're going to need to kind of review everything you should have learned this past semester because they know that you didn't learn it the way that you were supposed to. So I think it's just really important to not worry and stress yourself out for what's to come, because whatever is about to come, I mean, everybody is going to help you through it. You know, you won't be doing it alone, and you'll have plenty of resources to get through it.
That was a good topic, or good response. So, you know, take it day by day. There's only so much you can plan for when it comes to your future. So really, you know, finish out the school year, you're almost there, and then enjoy your summer. We'll worry about the fall when it comes to us. So, Katie, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, try to keep learning. Pick up an old book, your favorite book, and read it again. Or think about the topics that you've learned throughout this year and what you can improve on. Maybe look at those topics online and look more into them and be more prepared next year. But also make sure to stay relaxed and know that everyone's going to go through the same thing as you did when the fall semester starts. And then I think Diana finally got on, or maybe Annie there.
She's been having some video feed issues. She's been messaging me saying she can only hear bits of us, but she's looking forward to watching the recording later.
Well, does any of the other ambassadors want to add anything extra to students that you think they might need to know or want to know?
I guess I would just have to say, do that thing you've been wanting to do. You know, everyone has that one thing, and, you know, whether it's your hobby, you like to paint, you want to, I don't know, work on your batting skills for your baseball team, you know, anything. Just really take this time to improve. And I know it sounds like some cliche Instagram stuff, but it really is true, because, I mean, who knows when you'll have the next opportunity to really sit and self-reflect and work on those things you want to do.
I would like to say, don't be hard on yourself during this time. I know I was kind of hard on myself because I felt like I was slacking in school because I wasn't doing as much as I should have been at the beginning. And I'm sure you all feel the same way. You might feel like you're being lazy, or like you're watching too much Netflix, or you're sleeping in too much. But, you know, don't be so hard on yourself, because we're all human. It is what it is. You know, nobody wants to work 24/7. And like I said, it's a hard time as it is. It's hard to manage right now. So whatever it is you need to do to get by, do it, and don't be so hard on yourself for it.
Yeah, and if you are losing your motivation, I know a lot of us, I mean, we're busybodies. We really are. You know, we're constantly pushing ourselves, but I think that that's something that we've kind of like learned to do over the years. So if you are finding a hard time finding motivation, just keep in mind your future goals, because life will move on. You know, crazy stuff's happened in the past all throughout history, and, you know, eventually the world picks right back up where it left off. So yeah, just keep in mind, if you are thinking about going to college, think about your college goals. If you're thinking about going to technical school, think about those goals, do some research, you know, find something that makes you excited and do it, because that's really the way, you know, you'll keep yourself getting up and out of bed and get moving.
I just want to say, don't be afraid to reach out. You know, it can be hard making decisions on your own. And sometimes you just need one new perspective to really change your mind and push you into the direction that you're supposed to go. So you can always reach out to us or Dr. Ivy. We'd be more than happy to help you if you have any questions, or if you just want someone to talk to and stay focused and motivated. Of course, we can do that too. But yeah, don't be afraid to reach out to people. You don't have to do it all by yourself all the time.
I want to say thank you from the West Tennessee STEM Hub, and thank you to all of our amazing ambassadors that have sat with us this afternoon and talked about our virtual world. And want to say have a wonderful day and thank you so much.